saying congratulations on the EP. I've had a chance to take a listen to it, and it's a great EP, so congratulations.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you taking the time to have a listen.
No problem at all. Well, mate, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how this all came about, because I understand that it was during the COVID lockdowns that you actually decided to form the Midnight Tangoes. So tell us a little bit about how that happened and where that idea came about from the first place.
Yeah, it's been kind of a long time coming, I think. I started as your pretty average bedroom acoustic aficionado, and it just kind of built from there. And I've had two of the members of the Midnight Tangoes have kind of been with me on and off for the last probably 7 years. And then it got to a point through that lockdown where I was like, this isn't a solo thing. This feels like an addition, a little bit more collaborative. And we finally kind of settled on the name after workshopping a few, and it ended up becoming the Midnight Tangoes.
Were you nervous about taking that next step, or was it pure excitement?
That's a good kind of honest question. I think I was, yeah. I was a bit nervous because with it just being Iain T, McKelvery, I was only really responsible for what I was doing, and I could only really kind of work with what I had. And then moving it into something like the Midnight Tangoes, it was kind of uncharted territory for me.
Yeah.
And not that I'm controlling in any way in terms of how I want to write the music. I'm very aware that I'm not a drummer, and so I'm not going to tell someone how to drum. But it did feel like I was opening the door a little bit, and so nervous was good. A lot of excitement, but there were definitely nerves about kind of how that would be received and how it would work.
How difficult was it also to kind of form and find that sound as well during lockdowns? Because for a lot of, I know for here in Melbourne, there was a lot of times when we couldn't even go 5 kilometres from our house. So was it difficult for you guys to get together in those early days to form as such?
Yeah, I think it was. Luckily, two of them were kind of familiar, and we'd been jamming on some of the tracks that became this EP. So it was kind of there in our minds, but there was a lot of emails back and forth, a lot of demos, and the sound, weirdly enough, was quite easy. It just happened. The hardest part was actually just getting to see the rest of the band, to actually kind of feel like this was real.
Yeah. Did that also make recording difficult as well for you guys?
Yeah, it did. We ended up getting the recording done in an open period in between lockdowns. It was in, I think it would be 2020, in November, and it was when everything kind of opened back up briefly there, and I jumped at the chance.
Yep.
And that was kind of where we managed to just put it all together within a couple of months and get some time and just jump into the studio, which I'm super thankful for, because as we all know, it popped off again and we all went back into lockdown.
Yeah, it was a really weird time for everybody. What kind of things were inspiring you to write during that time? Were you one of the musicians that found it difficult to write during that time, or did you find it to be the perfect time to sit down and write because suddenly we didn't have exterior things taking us away from our music?
Yeah, look, I think it was a bit of both. I went through a very dry spell in the first lockdown. Dry spell in terms of lyrics, I think. Musically, there was a lot coming out because I just had so much spare time, and the guitar was right there. But lyrically, I found it kind of drying up a little bit. And I think I realized that I was drawing a lot of my lyrical inspiration from what's happening around us.
Yeah.
And nothing was happening, really. And so on that realization, I started to pull in and do a bit of self-reflection. And there's I just didn't want it to turn out to be like a lockdown song, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of musicians out there that could do it better than me and could take that role on, but mine was more about finding that self-reflection of what was happening for us during the lockdown. I think also, to be honest, I took a conscious break. I've been going for quite some time, and I kind of said to myself, this is time that's been afforded to you to actually put the guitar down and to just kind of sit and make sure your family's okay and make sure friends are doing all right.
Definitely. Now, you've got the launch date coming up in just over a week. How do you feel about being able to get out there and do live shows again? Because for many artists, we haven't been able to do live shows for nearly 3 years.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really am. I think I'm doubly excited because it's we had a show booked in April, and it was going to be our first one back as a band, and Murphy's Law would have it that I got COVID the night before the show. So I think I'm kind of even more excited to get out there, and it's at a venue that we love, Union Hotel, and it's also with friends that we love and I've been admirers of for a long time, Motion Sickness. We're really psyched to have them join us. I think overall it's just an incredible thing to even be able to get on stage again. So I think as soon as the show's over, I think I'll probably realise that we just did it.
Yeah. Now, we'll give the venue a little bit of a plug as well. You said that you love the Union Hotel. Tell us a little bit about what makes that such a great venue.
It's just a good local, you know, and they've always been really supportive of all kinds of music. And obviously, through the pandemic, they took a step back. And it was formerly booked by a friend of mine. And then I think it's always got kind of that special home feeling.
Yeah.
Just really fun. Good beers, a good room. The stage is set up nicely. It just kind of feels welcoming whenever we walk in.
Yeah. Now, of course, you've also got the show coming up on June 3rd at the Duke of Enmore, so we'll put all of those ticketing details up on our website so that people can check them out as well for any listeners out there that are keen to head along and see you guys. But we're going to be playing a couple of tracks off the EP on our show, and if people hear that and love what they hear, where can they go to grab a copy of the EP as well?
It's on our Bandcamp on a digital download. We just decided to do a digital release only. So if you feel like supporting us, Bandcamp is the best place to go. Otherwise, it's available on all streaming platforms.
Awesome. And I guess the big question now is as well, what's the plans for the rest of this year for you guys now? It looks like everything's opening back up and we're not going to have lockdowns anymore. Are you guys hoping to get out and do more shows later in the year, or will you be working on the next lot of music for you?
It's going to be both. I'm aiming to hopefully get us some shows and venture a little bit further outside of Sydney.
Yep.
Come say hello to some people down south. But I also am mining through everything that we've been demoing. Cal and the bassist, we've kind of got a studio space, and we've just been meticulously going through everything that we wrote over the last 2 years to see what we can come up with next.
Awesome. Well, mate, we're going to play a track off the EP right now on our show. So what would you like to say to everybody out there before they get a chance to take a listen to the track for the first time?
I don't know. The spotlight's on me now. I think it's just, I hope you like it. These songs, some of them are 6 to 7 years old. And I just hope that it might resonate with you and also hopefully soften the blow of your existential horror of existence.